A lawyer got 20 years of silent revenge. This began about 25 years ago. My father's friend, FF, who passes away some years ago, needed a medical operation for a non-life-threatening problem but a life-changing one, increasing greatly his life quality. Here where we live we have a fairly good public healthcare system, but apparently they refused to make the operation. So, FF went to another country and paid for the operation there. Not much later, he felt that he was mistreated by the healthcare system here and that they should have performed the operation, so he went to a lawyer asking if it would be possible. Let's call him Greedy Lawyer, GL. GL told to FF that he had quite decent chances, so FF gathered all the documentation, proofs and all the stuff GL required from him. Basically, FF made all the work while GL was preparing the case. 1 month after FF gathered and submitted all the required documents, GL contacted him explaining that it was no use on even going to court because there was no case. But, of course, his fee had to be paid. So, FF decided to do what anyone who feels scammed do and sent GL to screw himself and not to pay. But, you know what they say, don't mess with the lawyers. Luckily it wasn't too bad, just sued him and, of course, made him pay all the fees, including interest and court fees. Adjusting to actual money, it would be a total of around 7,000 euros. Here comes the interesting part. See, FF worked at an insurance company and 5 years after of going back and forward he ended into a relatively big company as manager of his area in charge of, among other duties, hiring lawyers when needed from a list of recommended lawyers the firm has. And guess who one of those lawyers was? The same one who screwed him years ago. Suffice to say, FF never, ever, hired GL for any cases they needed a lawyer. The lack of cases made him came to the office from time to time asking if there was any cases for him. Sadly, never were. For the 20 years FF stayed at the company until his retirement. Each year GL would have gotten 10 to 15 cases and he worked for a fixed fee and a percentage of the money the insurance would have saved. At the end, I don't know the exact amount, but I know that those 7,000 he got from FF cost him over the years over 5 figures and he never knew why it happened because as far as I know, he never recognized FF. The title makes it sound like the lawyer was the one dishing out the revenge, not the one receiving it. Okay, your family friend was wrong. Lawyers tell you to gather the documentation together because it's not like they magically have it on them. Your family friend thought that he had a case based on how he was treated by the medical system. Great, good for him. However, the lawyer does not magically have every single document related that case sitting in his legal office. Your family friend would have had to provide the documentation so that the lawyer could review it and decide if there actually was a case. Why? Because your FF was the jackass with the evidence in hand. As for the pay, that would have been negotiated the first time they met. A lawyer is still paid for their time even if it doesn't go to court, because the lawyer is spending time on that case they aren't spending on other cases. I assume that you don't want to work for free, so why would you expect an attorney to do so? Finally, the lawyer reviewed your friend's materials, checked both case law and related statutes, and came to the conclusion that your friend did not, in fact, have a case. This is not unusual. Every person that walks into an attorney's office provides their version of events to an attorney, and based on that, it often appears that they have a case. Upon further review of the evidence available, a lawyer may conclude that no, you don't have a case because the law is clear that you were not mistreated. That's not the lawyer fucking you over, that's reality hitting you in the face. Your friend was a shitbag for deliberately hurting that attorney's ability to do his job properly where he lives. Your friend cost himself thousands of euros that he could have properly earned just because this attorney told him no. Your friend was the asshole in this case, and fuck him for being such a piece of shit to an attorney who apparently made the criminal mistake of telling him the truth. God fucking forbid your friend be wrong. I hope that attorney sees this post and steers clear of your family and anyone who knew that guy. What the actual fuck? Yeah, so FF might read as something else. FF is not a smart man. Odd. I thought this sub had a rule about acronyms, but on a quick glance, I don't see it. That's pretty good. I have a long-term lawyer story too, but not that good, and my revenge is more a realization a mentor's opinion was justified. It began the first time I heard ambulance chaser. I don't know I could manage it on or without any reveals though. Too much well-known history involved and too much present power there. But I sure don't hesitate to use the term anymore. Thanks for that one. Revenge is a dish best served cold. The sad part is, I can easily see the other side as this douche-nozzle comes in saying he has a mistreatment case. After accepting to review it, I see that he was completely wrong and there is no case, then he doesn't want to pay me. I had to take this asshat to court because the crazy Ken refused to pay after he agreed to it. Now, maybe this attorney was being greedy and really did try to take him for a ride, but there's really nothing here that shows that was the case other than the personal feelings of the people telling the story. It's a funny read, but without any establishing facts I honestly can't say who the real villain is. So FF is your father? Is it you? Best revenge ever. Talk about asshole tax. Don't be an asshole, people.